and welcome to Live and Local here at the Wargo Nature Center. My name is Winter Kuharski, your host today, and I'm joined by my co-host, Jason Karras.
Hello, and thank you for joining us here today at Wargo Nature Center. It is a very exciting place, and we're happy to be here. It is in Anoka County Park, located right here in our very own backyard in Lino Lakes, right off of Main Street. Now we're going to introduce you to a few of the folks who work here, and they're going to tell us all about it.
You can also learn about programs that are going on here year-round, including homeschool programs. There's even a preschool here, and you can learn about beekeeping. It's a really special place that not many people know about, but it's a real gem.
You're going to find out today what a heritage lab is all about, information on bird walks and bird watching, and even classes you can sign up for like kayaking, stand-up paddleboarding, and painting in the park.
So stick around because Live and Local at the Wargo Nature Center starts right now. Joining us now is Krista Harrington. She is the program supervisor here. Welcome and thank you for joining us. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I have been in the environmental education field for about 15 years now. I've been here at Wargo for about 8. I was a naturalist for about 6 and I've been in my current role for just over 2 years. And I love my job. I love coming here. I love sharing my passion about nature with people who are coming here to visit and take programs.
Awesome. Sounds great. Can you give us an overview of Wargo Nature Center? What is this place all about?
Wargo's a really great place for people to come. They have the opportunity to learn about nature, experience nature, just be part of it. So you can take a program, you can register for a program, or you can also come and just do self-guided activities. We have about a mile of mowed grass hiking trails, so they can just come and visit, hang out, experience nature. Awesome. We have displays indoors and also a preschool room where kids can hang out and play and see a few other things up close.
Awesome. So can you talk about some of the activities that you offer?
Sure. We do lots of different activities. We offer programs for people of all ages and abilities. So we do preschool through adult programming. We have preschool adult-child programs, preschool drop-off programs, along with birding recreation programs like canoeing and kayaking. We also have Nordic walking. We do adult enrichment, which is kind of like baking, fermenting, at-home gardening, urban gardening, and then a variety of other just general nature type environmental programs.
All sorts of fun stuff. Awesome. Yeah. Do you have any camps here at all in the summer?
We do. We do a lot of different day camps. We do preschool through 7th grade, and our preschool camps are half days, and our elementary school and up are full day camps. And we do everything from kind of pretty specific, from bugs all the way through just a more general technology and nature, getting kids out there to experience things they might not normally experience. We do recreation camps for the older kids that involve a little bit more kayaking, climbing walls, that kind of thing. So we offer a wide variety for all those age groups.
Awesome. So you mentioned kayaking. Do you have any other sort of recreational equipment that you can rent out?
We do. We have canoes and kayaks that are available for rent. So that is basically in the spring through the summer. Mm-hmm. And then rental usually ends sometime in early fall as the water temperature starts to drop, of course. We also rent GPS units, so you can do geocaching. We have 7 geocaches hidden out on the peninsula here at Wargo. Ooh. And we also rent kick sleds, which are basically kind of dog sleds without the dogs.
Oh, okay.
It's a chair on runners, basically,
right.
And then snowshoes as well. So people can come rent those during the week and experience Wargo in all seasons.
So like you said, I was going to say all seasons, all sorts of stuff to do. So
yes.
How do these homeschool programs work here?
We offer a monthly homeschool program through the school year, so October through May, and they are on the 3rd Thursday of the month. And we break the kids into groups by age. So we have kindergarten through 2nd grade together, 3rd through 5th grade together, and 6th through 12th grade together. And we offer a morning session, which is from 10 to 12, and an afternoon session from 2 to 4. And so families call, they register, and then they come and have some sort of either environmental or cultural program for that age group. And those topics rotate every year, and it's a different topic each month. Ooh. So you can sign up for one or you can sign up for that whole season. It's up to you. And then they can come year after year and take a different program each year.
Oh, so it's different all the time. Love it. So, you know, fall is in the air here. What kind of fall classes do you have going on?
We are wrapping up our recreation programs basically as that air temperature, water temperature is cooling down. So we're wrapping up our kayaking classes, but we have lots of other birding. Migration is picking up, so we have lots of birding programs that are happening in the fall. And we also are still doing Nordic walking classes. And then, as I said before, some of those other kind of adult enrichment classes are still happening. So baking and getting ready for winter. And how do you get all those veggies out of your garden harvested and preserved and taken care of for the winter.
Awesome, sounds like a lot of fun. And so, you know, as fall transitions into winter, what are some of your favorite winter programs that you have here?
My favorite winter programs are for our school kids. We do lots and lots and lots of school field trips here at the Nature Center, and so one of my favorites is snowshoeing and also winter ecology. So we offer those for school groups that come, but we also offer other programs for adults that can learn to snowshoe, not at Wargo, but within other parts of the park. We do offer cross-country ski classes and rentals, but we do not have groom trails here, but we do offer those other classes too.
Awesome, very cool. Is there anything else that you'd like to add about Wargo Nature Center?
I think it's just a really great place to come. We get a lot of people who haven't been here before, and we offer a lot of different things. We have various habitats that they can explore, lots of different places that they can hike and look and see what's out in nature.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Another thing that Krista is involved in here is the Heritage Lab, and our QCTV crew was out here earlier and they put together this report. Let's take a look.
QCTV recently had an opportunity to attend a day in the life of the Heritage Lab. The Heritage Lab is an outdoor historical activity as part of Wargo Nature Center. Program Supervisor Krista Harrington gives us the scoop.
Heritage Lab is a living history, very intense, hands-on activity that families and homeschools and public schools and private schools can come to and learn about different stages of Minnesota history. So it rotates through 5 different time periods in Minnesota history, and there are 8 stations that the kids travel through throughout the day that they're here with us. So they learn about all these different time periods in a really active, really hands-on kind of way.
The Historical Lab has 8 different learning stations for the kids to stop at, so we asked Krista to give us the lowdown on some of these stations.
The Underground Railroad, so they are learning that the Underground Railroad was not underground, nor was it actually a railroad. So some of those challenges that people faced as they were trying to get north to be free from slavery. They are also learning about 19th century naturalists, so some of those first naturalists, women naturalists in particular, that were studying the natural world around them and trying to figure out what all of these things were and how they kind of played a role together. They are also learning about how Minnesota played a role in the Civil War. So the Minnesota 1st Infantry was a pretty major part of the Battle of Gettysburg, so they are learning about the statistics of how that battle really played out. And the time period that they're learning about was an important part of immigration for Minnesota, so they're learning about what kinds of activities were happening at the homestead, the chores that had to be done even with wars going on and many of the men away from home, they still had to do all these things at their home itself. They are also learning about battlefield nurses, how women played a role not only as spies but as nurses taking care of those ailing and injured soldiers out on the battlefield and at the hospitals. And the frontier artists kind of drew and painted their way as westward expansion was happening before a lot of photography and all of those things are really taking place. Those artists kind of forged the way for all of that. And also the Dakota War. So they are learning about how the Ojibwe and Dakotas kind of were pushed farther and farther south in Minnesota and the ensuing conflicts that happened between them and the settlers that were already here.
And finally, what is the value to the Heritage Lab?
I think the part that makes it so valuable is that it's really intense and really hands-on. So each activity has a really good introduction into what that topic is, but then there is a hands-on component that the kids are part of it and learn it and get to be a really important part of making that activity work.
Thanks for watching QCTV, your source for local community television. We are pleased to announce that QCTV has recently been awarded a National Hometown Award for overall excellence in cable stations of our size. That is quite an honor, and it is truly a collaborative effort by all of us here at QCTV. We have been busy here producing new programming for you, and we are now in the middle of our fall sports coverage, so you can tune in and see football, volleyball, and soccer by your favorite teams. If you don't see our live coverage, you can watch it at your convenience on our website. You can also find out what is going on in your city by watching local government meetings, from city council, planning, parks and rec meetings to District 11 school board meetings. We also produce a show called News and Views that features interviews with elected officials and city staff members to keep you informed on what is happening in your city. Now that is news you can use. We also have a show called The Local Show, and our goal is to cover heartfelt stories that you may not hear about from some very special people who really deserve the attention. We have been working with the Anoka County Library, and you can watch several shows that feature local authors, as well as hear from library staff members on the many great programs that go in on our excellent local libraries. We teamed up with the local Lino Clinic, and we have a new show called QCRX. It's hosted by our own Matt Overstreet, and that features local doctors and healthcare workers. And in our first episode, we deal with vaccinations, bereavement, and eating healthy. You are sure to learn something. We also have a new episode of our regular shows, the Chamber Report, the District Court Show, It's Your History, and the Public Safety Show. So we've got you covered. That's what's new at the Q, and we want to thank you for watching QCTV.
Welcome to Amy Manning, my first guest. She's an interpretive naturalist here at Wargo. Among other things, she teaches preschool. Thank you for joining us here today, Amy. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
Please tell our viewers a little bit about yourself and your background, like where you went to college, what you majored in, and how you apply that here at Wargo.
Okay, sure. I am originally from New Jersey, and I went to college at Rutgers University.
Wow, okay.
I studied ecology, so you can see how that would fit in here.
Right.
And I have been working in environmental education for over a decade.
Wow.
I've done things ranging from teaching wilderness survival to teaching preschool.
Okay, great. Talk about some of the activities you do with your preschool class.
We do all sorts of fun outdoor activities. Earlier this week, we were catching insects and rolling over logs to see what we could find.
Okay.
And today we're going to be going out to the lake and doing a dip with nets and see what we catch.
Fun. What lake is that?
It is George Watch Lake.
Okay.
Yeah, right out next to the Nature Center.
Is it pretty big or small lake?
It is. It's a smallish lake. It's pretty marshy. It's kind of more like a pond.
Fun. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. What are the little ones most interested in during the class?
They are really just interested in everything. At this age, they're just like little sponges, and they just love to learn. They love to be outside and discover new things. They really love exploring things with their senses, so that's something that always gets them excited.
Awesome. Talk about the chore you share when you all take turns feeding the animals.
Okay, we have, let's see, 4 different animals here. We have a box turtle, a hognose snake, and 2 salamanders. And we also have a red-tailed hawk.
Okay.
And taking care of them just entails feeding them, checking that they look healthy, making sure their enclosures are clean, and replacing their bedding as needed.
Okay, great. Is there anything else on your mind that you'd like to add today?
You really picked a beautiful day to be out here,
It's gorgeous,
so
yeah.
I'm glad that you're seeing the Nature Center in all its glory and having a nice day to be filming outside.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for having us. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much for being with us here today. I know you're on your way out to take the kids outside, so we're going to let you go now. We also visited a preschool class today and recently, and it was lots of fun. QCTV's very own John Murphy put together this package for us. Now let's take a look.
Chicka chicka, 1, 2, 3. Will there be a place for me?
We offer a preschool in partnership with the Forest Hills Community Education Program, and we have a preschool teacher from there that works with me, so I'm a naturalist here, and we cover both the academic side of things, so the preschool teacher covers that, and then we spend half of our class time outdoors.
Butterfly.
We explore, play, learn about different things in nature, and it's really very play-based, discovery-based kind of learning. Today we were out catching insects. Later we'll go out on the pond and use nets to scoop stuff up and see what we can catch.
I want to
We learn about all the plants and animals that live here. In the winter, we'll go tracking, and we will be out using kick sleds and snowshoeing, so they get some outdoor recreation stuff in there as well. So it really is just a great experience, especially for kids who want to be active and outdoors. The parents are really excited that their kids get to be outside so much, and they're excited that they get the academics in but still get that outdoor experience. And the kids have a great time. They love it. I've never yet had a kid tell me they weren't having fun.
We love the outdoor aspect of it. We love that they get to be outside, running around in nature and learning real life things.
Do they have any legs? So if they have no legs, what number is that?
Oh, man.
Okay, yeah.
We also love that they can use that outdoor stuff to learn letters, numbers, and incorporate that all into nature and being able to stay physical and be active during class.
I love to incorporate school and nature all in one. The curriculum seemed to offer something a little bit more than a traditional preschool didn't offer. Bringing them out, exposing them, saying, this is the color green instead of on a piece of paper, it's all around us.
I really like the freedom to be a little more experiential. I love the outdoors and I love teaching in the outdoors, and I think it just has so much to offer. There's so many things that you can bring from the classroom out here, and today we were working on our counting, for example, looking at the insects and counting how many legs they had. So I think it's a great complement to classroom learning, and I love the freedom that teaching out here gives me to try new things, to experiment.
The topic of bees and other pollinators has been in the news lately, and that is an issue you can learn all about here at Wargo. QCTV's very own Catherine and Corey were here recently and filed a report all about the bees.
The Wargo Nature Center is a beautiful spot. Everywhere you look, it is very pretty. One of the nicest spots is where the bees are kept, and we caught up with Sherry Taplin, who tells us all about it.
Well, at Wargo we have a couple of hives, and we do a variety of things with the hives. Now, our main focus is probably teaching about pollinators.
Sherry Taplin is an interpretive naturalist at Wargo, and she says her goal is in education, not in honey production.
For young kids, it's really is continuing learning about insects. So that bees are insects, parts of insects, and the social structure probably a little bit in the hive, about beehive. We haven't had too much trouble here at Wargo because we have such a small, I usually only have 1 or 2 hives going. I think a lot of the problems you hear about bees can happen with larger operations. So they might, if some hive starts to get like foul brood or some type of infection, that can kind of spread. So when you have like a small operation, you don't really have as many problems. A lot of people do treat for mites and things, and that's legitimate. I don't, and I don't really have any problems here at Wargo. But once again, I'm really doing just education with my hives. I'm not in honey production. I'm not a producer.
After she gets the smoker going, she uses a hive tool to pull out a frame and check on the health of the bees.
All right, well, I'm just looking at some honey and some of the honey frames that they've been putting together. So they're building out comb and starting to put honey in the comb. None of it's capped yet, so they aren't done. We've had plenty of goldenrod blooming right now, so we'll see, come back in a week and check it again. With the kids, we pretty much talk about, there's one queen and many, many thousands of worker bees that do all the different jobs, and that there are some drones, the males, that are in the hive, not very many of them, and the kids just love it that the drones get kicked out in the fall. They think that's really funny, so.
Honeybees make honey from plant nectar. They evaporate much of the moisture and add enzymes that change the composition of the nectar to give honey its unique taste.
This is, as I was saying, my little Zen spot. There's an osprey tower over here and the marsh and the lake right over here. So it's me and the bees and the osprey. It's beautiful, it's peaceful, it's very Zen, as I put it. A lot of people find that interesting considering I've got 20,000 stinging insects surrounding me, but it's incredibly peaceful and a beautiful place to be.
Joining me now is Sherry Taplin, and she is an interpretive naturalist with a specialty in beekeeping. So Sherry, first of all, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and your job here?
Yeah, sure. I'm one of the environmental education staff here, work with youth and adults in teaching all about nature. And I oversee all the gardens here at Wargo and run a small farm program. And of course, I'm the beekeeper.
So there's a lot in the news about the plight of bees all over the world. Can you give our viewers a little bit of history on the topic, and what are some of the factors that made it such a problem?
Right, sure. So there is a lot of attention about pollinators in general these days. Bees, of course, get a lot of attention. There's quite a few issues regarding our pollinators these days, and one is the use of pesticides. You hear neonicotinoids a lot. That's certainly an issue. And bees in particular are susceptible to disease and mites. The biggest issue, though, I think for bees and pollinators in general is habitat loss and fragmentation of habitat.
So what are some problems specifically here in Minnesota?
I think probably habitat loss still would be the number one thing. Neonicotinoids, they get a lot of attention, but it's really habitat loss and fragmentation.
Yeah. So why are bees and pollinators so important to food production?
Well, they are what turns a flower into fruit, or what turns a flower into food for us. So without pollinators, we don't have food.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Simple as that. No bees, no food.
Exactly.
So what can people in our area do to help our bees and other pollinators?
Create habitat and provide food. So if you're gardening or redoing your yard or something like that, keeping those pollinator-friendly plants in mind. Trying to think of blooming plants that bloom all the way from early spring into the late fall so that they have a food supply throughout the season.
So what are some of those specific flowers?
Well, there's different types of butterfly plants and bee balm and a variety of your wild prairie flowers. Things like, I don't know, they're easy enough to find at garden centers, and garden centers are really great at helping you choose what works best for your yard depending on shade, sun, mix, things like that.
Very cool, very cool. So can you tell us about the difference between wild bees and domesticated bees?
Sure. Domesticated bees were brought over by Europe, so that's when you see the white stacked boxes of bees. Those are used mostly for honey production. We use them here at Wargo for education purposes. So those are domesticated. They were brought over here. They're not native. So native bees, we have around 400 species here in Minnesota.
Didn't realize there were quite so many.
Yep, and most of them are ground dwelling bees, and they pollinate a tremendous amount of plants, so they're very, very important.
Awesome. So what reaction do you get from people when you teach them about bees and show them the hives?
It's wonderful. People are so curious and happy to see the hives. They get really excited to come out and see them. They lose their fear factor pretty quickly.
As soon as they see them, I'd be like, ooh, bees.
They're kind of that way, but they mostly really are fascinated by it. So it's great. It's great to see the interest.
Good to hear, good to hear. So what got you interested in bees?
I worked at a different nature center a long time ago. The beekeepers, they were from Argentina, and they had taken a really different approach to beekeeping. I was real curious about that. Asked to tag along one day and put on a bee suit and followed them out and was hooked. I just loved it.
Just got hooked. Oh,
yeah.
Awesome. Very cool. So is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Well, come out to Wargo. Come see the bees. Come hike our trails. It's a beautiful place.
Awesome. Sounds great. So thank you so much for being with us here today, Sherry. We really appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
I really think that it just sounds like so much of a fun job.
It's
Love
awesome.
It. We're going to switch gears now, though, and go from bees to birds. Our QCTV Leslie Sauer recently went on a bird walk and filed this report. Let's take a look.
Birding is an activity that is, to me, I've done it since I was 15, so experience is a big thing. So the more times you see something, the easier it is to recognize it. And then it's easy to tell something that you're not familiar with, so a better bird, in other words. And it's something you can do anytime. I mean, people ask me, when do you go birding? And I say, well, when I'm awake. because I'm always paying attention to stuff around me, and I go, oh, you know, I see stuff, but I may not be like this where I actually am making a list, because people want to know after the fact how many we saw and go over it and stuff and see what they saw. It's a good activity just to get you outside. I don't have a favorite. There's too many birds. There's, I don't know, depending on lumping and splitting, there's some 10,000 birds in the world. So.
I think I got him. Yeah. Oh, he just
big
blew
one
up.
up.
Oh, you mean he just called? Yeah. I wasn't sure if you meant he took a swoop or he...
Oh, I love to see some unusual bird that's interesting to me, but more likely is just having people get out. I know all these people that came today. They're regular birders, and it's just fun to have them with them. And for them to see a new bird is more likely, so it's exciting to kind of live vicariously through them. Oh, I've never seen that before, and get a new bird.
Oh, look at it. Oh, bald eagle. Yeah.
Oh, peregrine.
Oh, no, aspect, sorry. He was so folded up, he looked peregrine-like.
Yeah, for anybody out there that wants to come down in. And I encourage people to come. There's so many things that I hear when I'm out walking that, why aren't you coming to the program? You need to learn more, because there's so many things out there. And obviously I don't know everything either, but I at least know where to look something up if I don't know it. And like I said, I've had 40-some years of experience being a naturalist, so I know a lot. One of the things I like to end one of my programs with is that nature doesn't need us at all, but we depend on nature, so we should really know more about it or get out and learn. And it's fun to enjoy being outside, getting some exercise while you're doing something as well as learning. So it sounds like what they say is people are getting more away from outdoor activities, so it'd be nice to kind of reverse that.
Oh, there's deer.
Shows it in the book. Yeah, it almost looks like something like a patch of red-headed woodpecker or something. But Moscow is what I use.
How fascinating. I am a bird person myself. In fact, I own 2 cockatiels at home. I have Bart Simpson, due to the yellow mohawk on his head. And I also he's 10 months old, and I just rescued a 10-year-old bird about 3 weeks ago. He came with the name Ernest Hemingway, so I love birds. Anyway, my next guest today is Todd Morosky. He is a recreation specialist here at Wargo. Welcome, Todd.
Thanks.
Yeah, definitely. Tell us a little bit about yourself, like where are you from and how long have you worked here?
Yeah, I'm from Ramsey, Minnesota, here in Anoka County. I've been with Anoka County Parks and Wargo Nature Center for 19 years.
Wow.
Some
good chunk of time.
Yeah, 17 years as a rec specialist. I started out here as a naturalist right out of college, interning, unpaid, doing naturalist work, and then kind of moved into the rec position. And I love it. You know, like I say, recreation specialist, so I take care of outdoor rec programming, some of our special events for the county, but I also fill in as a naturalist and get a chance to still teach environmental ed too, so I really enjoy that.
Wow, big wide spectrum.
Yeah, and kind of a utility guy.
And they say do what you love, so
yeah, I love it. Yeah,
definitely.
Super lucky.
You look like you love your job. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Talk about your role in the Heritage Lab series.
Yes, Heritage Lab is one of those unique programs we have, again with Connexus Energy grant. We do it here in the park, Rice Creek Chain of Lakes, and it's fun because we're in character and we talk about different time spectrums. Students from schools and homeschools come to us, and they rotate through stations, so we have different topics and we give them a hands-on kind of real-life experience from history. And like this year is our early Minnesota, so I'm talking about Civil War, which is kind of a personal interest of mine, and so I get to talk about the Battle of Gettysburg and talk about Minnesotans and do a little reenacting, so it's really fun.
Do you get all up in costume?
Yeah, I don't go first person, but I speak and I'm in costume as a soldier from Minnesota and talk about what they did at the Battle of Gettysburg. So we've got wooden guns and the kids we're charging and reenacting something 1st Minnesota Regiment did in the Battle of Gettysburg. The kids love it.
That sounds awesome.
The other really cool thing is we have a muzzle loader that we shoot blanks out of, but I show the kids how that works, and then we use that to rotate stations. So the gun goes off nice and loud, bang, and the kids love it, and then all the stations rotate on that, so it's fun.
Their eyes get about huge.
Yeah, they love it. Yep,
awesome.
Yep, really fun.
Say you are a city person like myself and don't know a lot about nature, but you want to learn. Where would be a good place to start?
Anoka County Parks, right?
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
nice thing about Anoka County Parks is we're close to the cities, but we're north, so we've got a lot of parks, a lot of wild area. Here in the Rice Creek chain of lakes where Wargo Nature Center is, lots of trails. We've got water trails, biking trails, we've got beach, golf course, all those kind of things. But, Wargo is a perfect place to come. We've got obviously a lot of staff that know a lot about the outdoors. We offer a lot of public programs for people to sign up for so they can come and learn not only recreational programming, but, environmental ed, come and learn about bats or trees or whatever they want.
Sure.
So, yeah, Anoka County Parks is really nice for that. We have a lot of opportunity programming and a lot of open space for people to come and get some outdoor experience.
I was just going to say, tons of open space
Yeah.
here. What is the birding by boat class all about?
Yeah, birding by boat. This year was our Year of the Bird. We had kind of our first time we had a theme. So this year was Year of the Bird. So we emphasized birding. We've been doing a lot of birding programs, but we offered more. And one thing we do well here at Anoka County is combine our rec programming with our EE. So we thought, let's get people out in canoes and kayaks and teach them birding. So we have binoculars, we'll introduce them to birding, but it allows us to get onto areas out on the water where we wouldn't maybe see some of the birds otherwise, so we can see some waterfowl and some shorebirds. And so the birding by boat was really fun this year because we got people out in boats and birded along the way.
Awesome.
So yeah, it was fun.
What species of birds do you actually see?
Yeah, here this park is really good, again, because of all the water, so we get a lot of waterfowl and egrets and shorebirds, but with the upland areas too, a lot of warblers moving through. And so this year, I think this year we're at 214 species for the county, just for the county. So we've been keeping track of that. And so yeah, we tabulate for the whole county, but yeah, this park is really nice because it's got a variety of habitat. So it brings in a variety of birds.
Okay, great. I am a fisherman myself. I grew up fishing with my dad and my father growing up. I love eating fish. I'm a pescatarian. Can you tell us about the introduction to fishing class?
Yeah, we've been doing more and more fishing programs. We do a lot of fishing programs with youth. The YMCA comes to us and we'll teach them how to fish. We'll go out in our Voyager canoe and fish, but we've been offering some intro classes for public, so people will bring their families or even just adults will come to the class.
Okay.
We've got basic fishing equipment and we'll go out and teach them the basics. So we'll start off kind of bobber fishing for panfish and then talk a little bit about casting and things, but yeah, just getting them out, positive experience and show them the basics. Talk about fish species so they know and understand what fish they're catching and how to identify them, and yeah, cover the basics. And they've been going really well because it's easy for us to do. We have the equipment and people just really appreciate it because they don't have the equipment and aren't able to get out themselves. So
do they have to get a fishing license for something like that
we
for
do.
one day?
Yeah, we do, but we also have at times gotten an exemption from DNR. If we apply for that permit early, DNR has been really good about giving us an exemption. Hey, we're teaching a class, so they allow us to have that class be exempt from a license for a day.
Okay,
so,
that's nice of them. That's great.
It is, works well.
Sure. How about kayaking and canoeing classes?
Yeah, kind of our core of our kayaking, our rec classes in the summer. We offer, for years, been offering lots of intro to kayaking classes, canoeing classes, and we offer a couple dozen intro to classes, kayaking classes, and we spread those out around the county. We do them here, kind of the eastern side of the county, but also Coon Rapids Dam, the Rum River parks. We do a nice job of scattering those around the county, giving people a chance to do them a little closer to home.
Sure.
Yeah. So.
I've heard a lot about stand-up paddleboarding through my friends. I've yet to try it myself. Not scared, I just haven't had the time to do it. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, stand-up paddleboarding is just kind of cool, new kind of to Minnesota. It's been out west and out on the coastal states for a long time, but we've got some stand-up paddleboards and we've been doing those classes for a few years and they're super fun to teach. And the nice thing about it is it's really easy. People come kind of wondering if they're going to get wet, and we do get some people that will fall in, but we're doing them in warm weather, so sometimes it's 90 degrees and hot out, so it's nice.
You want to fall.
Nice to go in, but it's really easy to do actually. Most people that come to the class don't fall in. We obviously go over basics, form and how to steer and stuff.
Okay.
Get out, and it's a really fun way to get on the water because it's using different muscles, good upper body workout. And you just kind of look cool. People watch as you're going past and, hey, look at those guys. So, yeah, those have been really popular. We've been offering a lot of those.
What's the most popular class out of everything I've mentioned so far? What are people coming flocking towards?
Probably those stand-up paddleboard classes because they're new. We're still having really good numbers on our kayaking classes and, again, the fishing classes. But stand-up paddleboarding. The other thing we offer this year, log rolling. We have a synthetic log where we've been using it more for youth, but they get up and we can kind of, at first there's a lot of people in the water, but then we learn how to do it, and we've been using that at our Bunker Beach facility, but also for our rec programming. So the log rolling's been fun too.
That sounds like a blast. Yeah. I would love to try that myself.
It's been fun.
Can you tell us about the Voyager canoe and the activities you can do, like the Fall River Run?
Yeah, we just had our Fall River Run. The Voyager canoe is a 30-foot Voyager canoe. So it's a replica of a Thompson-style canoe, and we can fit 18 adults in that thing. It's really fun,
Wow.
really fun. So we got a big group of people together. We go this last weekend, we were on the Rum River, up and down the Rum River, enjoying the fall colors, although we were a little early for the fall colors. But it was great because I'm together, I'm steering, but everyone else is paddling. It's a nice teamwork because they're paddling and I'm steering. We'll give people a chance to steer a little bit if they want. And again, we use that boat for youth programming too.
Oh, cool, great.
Yeah.
Is there any other information that we haven't covered that you'd like to share with our viewers watching at home?
Yeah, you know, Anoka County Parks is unique. We've got a great programming unit stationed here at Wargo, but we spread those programs out. Coon Rapids Dam with a lot of kayaking, canoeing classes, those kinds of things. But our environmental ed, our birding programs we scatter and do throughout the year. So if you're looking to learn any of those outdoor skills, check us out on AnokaCountyParks.com.
Excellent.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure meeting you today,
Thanks,
Todd.
nice to meet you too.
Yeah,
Thank
I really
you.
appreciate your time today.
Thanks.
Up next, we are going to learn about the gathering of a very dedicated people that happens bright and early on every Wednesday morning. This group meets at the Coon Rapids Dam Regional Park, and they head out with a naturalist for a phenology hike. Let's take a look.
Today was our phenology walk, which just means we go out and see what's out here at any time of year. And I kind of loosely record things, but it's not a published thing. With the Coon Rapids Dam on Anoka County side. It's where I work out of, so I just do a walk every Wednesday morning and go out and check out the park. And I have people that come with, usually a lot of regulars that show up and come with me and just see what we can see. Well, phenology is pretty much what I just said. It's on any time of year what is out in a certain area. It differs from the bird hike in that we look at a lot of plant life and dragonflies and everything, which we don't ignore in the bird hike either, but it's just more focused on birds on the bird hike, where this is more of a general thing. I think it's just nice to get other people out, because we need to appreciate the world we live in, and anytime you can get them out, whether it be kayaking or birding or phenology walk or whatever, they start appreciating things, start enjoying being out there and get some exercise. I don't so much encourage them as let them figure out what they enjoy. Like, for example, the different plants we saw along the way, showing some of the different types of plants. Some people are interested in that, some people aren't. So they hopefully will just look up stuff on their own, look online or get a book or whatever, enjoy whatever particular thing they're interested in. There wasn't anything particular. It was just a nice day for a walk. It was a little windy. Looked at a lot of different things. Didn't see anything unusual, whether it be plant, animal, whatever. You can certainly look on Anoka County Park's website, or you can certainly look up and call this building at the dam or Wargo Nature Center. It's a good place to get general information.
I would like to welcome my next guest here, Andy Soltvedt. Andy is the Marketing and Visitor Services Manager for Anoka County Parks and Rec. Thank you for joining us today, Andy. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? What's your background like?
Yeah, I started here with Anoka County Parks about 2.5 years ago. I came from a couple of local cities here, and I live in the Elk River area, so real close to Anoka County, and I really enjoy being kind of up in this neck of the woods.
Awesome, sounds good. So we've talked a lot about Wargo today, and a lot about what Anoka County has to offer, and it has lots of parks. Can you tell me about some of your favorite parks and what they have to offer?
Sure. We have a lot of great natural settings here in Anoka County. One of the nice things about Anoka County is we're really close to the cities. We actually border Minneapolis, but we go all the way up to St. Francis.
Oh,
so
wow.
we get a large variety of habitats, a large variety of open spaces that we have. So it's really neat to be able to go through that whole transition as you head from south to north throughout the county, everything from wetlands and urban environments all the way up to a very rural and kind of more of that north woods feel on the north side of the county.
Awesome, very cool. So can you tell me some more about the Coon Rapids Dam Visitor Center?
Yeah, you know, Coon Rapids Dam is a really unique park. It's right along the Mississippi River. It's part of the Mississippi National Riverway. We have our visitor center located there, which we're actually doing some renovations on right now. So our guests should see some improvements there at that facility here in December when it reopens. We'll add some new displays and new amenities for people to see, as well as the normal upgrades to our bathrooms and restroom facilities. But it gives people an option to get across from Anoka County to Hennepin County across the dam that was just redone and just reopened in July. So it's a really neat way to experience the river and travel up and down the Mississippi River corridor.
Awesome, very cool. So along with the Visitor Center, can you tell me some more about the Banfield Lock Center for the Arts?
Yeah, the Banfield Lock Center of the Arts is located in Monoman Park, which is just a little further south, closer to Minneapolis. Banfield is actually located in a historic tavern. It's one of the oldest buildings in Anoka County. It's on the historical registry, and they do a lot of art programming there.
Okay.
They do annual exhibits, they rotate those out and have local artists display, have a lot of great events there, and they also do programs for youth as well with summer camps and different educational opportunities for youth in art.
Awesome. Can you tell us about the Chamonix Golf Course as well?
Yep, and it's actually called Chamonix Golf Course.
Sorry, my bad.
And that's one of the biggest things. Chamonix.
Chamonix.
Yep,
Okay.
and one of the biggest things we have. Such a variety of ways that's pronounced, but it is Chamonix Golf Course. It's located just across the river here in Lino Lakes. It's an 18-hole golf course. We also have a driving range there, a pro shop and clubhouse. It's a great course, very much a Northwoods feel is what people give us the feedback on that course. Tight fairways, lots of mature trees, oak trees, maple trees this time of year in the fall as the colors change.
I bet it's beautiful.
amazing.
Yeah.
And then you also have the Rice Creek right there too. So we have people interrupted by deer coming across the fairways and just sit and take in the wildlife during that round of golf. So it's a really a multifaceted experience, and not just a round of golf.
Love it. This one's a little bit more easier to pronounce. Can you tell me about the Bunker Park Stables?
Yeah, the Bunker Park Stables is a really unique amenity. It's one of the only riding stables in the Metropolitan Regional Park System. It's located at Bunker Hills Regional Park. They're open year-round, so even though we're out of the summer season here, they do summer camps and all those. But throughout the year, they do trail rides, they do sleigh rides in the wintertime, which is a really fun thing for birthday parties, Christmas time. You get people out and they can go out in the snow and really experience the park in kind of a different way. So they have a riding facility there. They do lessons throughout the year. But they also have those experiences for people that just get on a horse and they kind of experience the park in maybe some of those shoulder seasons where you wouldn't go out there.
Oh, awesome. Very cool. Can you tell me a little bit about some of the park rangers and some of the fun stuff that they are working on in our parks here?
Yep. Our park ranger unit is, they work throughout our parks. They're really kind of our guest relations. So they interact with all of our users, everyone from our pavilion reservations to helping people with campsites and reservations and just providing general direction and assistance. So you'll see them throughout the park system. They're always very approachable and always willing to help out with anything that people may need. And they're just a great set of eyes and ears out there in the parks for us to help our guests have the best experience that they can have.
They're kind of your go-to person when if you see them, don't be afraid to ask them some questions because that's their job to know all about the parks.
Exactly.
Awesome. So I've been told there is an archery center. Can you tell me some more about that?
Yep, the archery center is located in Bunker Hills Regional Park. It's on the west side of the park. It actually has its own park entrance, but it's really a premier facility. It has multiple ranges. It has a target range. It has an indoor facility, but then it also has outdoor walking loops where people can walk through those loops, try different range targets anywhere from 10 yards out to 80 yards depending on the range. So you can really challenge yourself in the different experience. It's a joint partnership we have with Rapids Archery Club. So they do a lot of tournaments, a lot of youth lessons, and a lot of outreach and programming at that facility. And it's a great partnership that we have there and allows us to provide really a premier facility here in the metro area.
Awesome. Sounds like a really great place.
Yeah.
So how fortunate do you think people are here in Minnesota to being here in Anoka County? We have so many fantastic parks, and compared to other states and countries. So what makes Anoka County special? Why do we have so many awesome parks here?
Well, we have over about 11,500 acres of parkland in Anoka County, so it's a lot of open space. It's really a unique kind of setup, as I mentioned before, with having that unique urban experience. We have some parks down in Columbia Heights, which are really surrounded by neighborhoods, to parks up like in Linwood Township, where there's very few homes and it's very rural, and you have a really different experience there. So the nice thing with our park system is within 35 minutes, you can get to all those different areas, have a different experience throughout the day even. So if you start in one side of the county and you want to have a different experience, you can go and do that all in one day on one park pass.
Awesome. So how do you market there's so many different parks, there's so much that you can do. How do you market those parks to people?
Well, you know, our best thing is always our guest experience. So really relying on our guests, we use social media a lot to deliver that message. Since it is such a large area, it's hard to direct our marketing at specific groups with like a newsletter or a printed out version. So
a million pages long, here's all the awesome things.
Yep, so we do have a printed activity guide with all of our programs, but we really rely on that guest experience. So we reach out, we do a lot of community outreach, we do a lot of social media, we do a lot of updates on our website and our internet searches so that we can get that information out to people where they don't necessarily realize that there's a riding stable within 10 minutes of their house. Or when you think about Blaine, when you think about Blaine, you don't necessarily think about horses.
Right.
So, you know, doing a lot of that outreach via the social media has really helped us and really expanded our reach to people who haven't necessarily visited our facilities before. They're not the quote-unquote outdoor people or the nature people. So
till their friends tell them, and then they become outdoor people.
Exactly.
Right? So is there anything that you'd like to add?
I'd just like to recommend everybody to get out and explore our parks. This time of year, it's so beautiful out. You know, the fall colors will be changing here shortly. We do stay open all year long, so there's never a bad time to come out to our park. So as the seasons change, make sure to check back and see what other experiences we have scheduled for people.
Awesome, sounds great. Thank you so much for being here, Andy. We're glad you joined us, and we encourage all of you to get out in our parks and enjoy them all year round. So now we are going to take a look at another fun thing here that families can do here at Wargo. It is a self-guided tour, and QCTV's John Murphy put this together for us.
Look. Oh yeah, there's some seeds.
Yeah.
Do you know what happens if you drop one of these?
What did they do?
Families can come to Wargo to visit, to look at our displays, but they can also go out on self-guided activities. We have backpacks that are available for checkout, and they have different themed things like plants and trees or birds in them. So families can take those out for free and experience nature kind of at their own pace and follow these different activities that are in there with kids of various ages, so it works pretty well for any family.
Are you going to try it?
Yeah.
That's called a reed in there. That makes the noise.
They usually think it's pretty fun. It kind of gives them a little direction. Sometimes families think that just going out for a walk is a little intimidating. The kids aren't super ecstatic about just going for a walk. It just sounds really boring. But when they have activities that kind of get them to look at things a little bit closer, to stop and look up at the trees and down at the ground and look for birds and identify a few things, it gets them a little more excited, a little more engaged in it. So when they come back, they feel pretty good that they've spent a lot of time outdoors and really enjoyed it.
Oh, look at this. This is a footprint from an animal.
Whoa! What the? What are you doing in my car?
Oh, hi there, I'm just along for the ride. I was hiding in that piece of wood that you just picked up. I'm assuming you're having a campfire. Well, I'll just tag along and check out your healthy trees, maybe infest them and kill them off. No big deal.
This is not happening. Get out of my car.
No, I don't think I will. No. No.
Get out of my car.
No.
Right now.
No.
Get out.
No.
Shoo.
No. No. What are you doing? What are you doing? No. No.
Out. Get out.
That's not nice.
You could be unknowingly spreading emerald ash borer. By moving firewood and logs from other areas, you could be spreading this devious little insect, killing our beautiful ash trees. Don't spread emerald ash borer. Buy firewood where you burn it.
Cool, what a great activity for anyone to try, taking a nature hike with a naturalist. Now I'd like to welcome Renee Sandy, and she is the Public Information, Planning and Policy Specialist for Anoka County Recycling and Resource Solutions. Thank you, Renee, for being here today. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your job.
Thanks, Jason. I'm excited to be here today. I've worked for Anoka County for 11 years. I've been in this position for about a year and a half. My job is to provide information to help our residents manage waste through waste reduction, reusing, recycling, and other proper disposal, which protects our environment and benefits our economy. Another large part of my job is planning programs, measuring the results of those programs, and reporting.
Okay. How many people work in your department, and what kinds of things do you do?
There are about 10 people in my department working to provide services and information, helping our residents to reduce, reuse, and recycle items instead of throwing them away. We also have waste reduction programs that assist local businesses, schools, nonprofits, and community organizations as well.
Great. Can you talk a little bit about the big picture of recycling in Anoka County? What programs do you have in place recently?
We have several major program areas providing services to our residents. There's municipal recycling. All Anoka County municipalities have curbside collection of recyclables. In addition, there are 8 municipal drop-off recycling centers and 5 monthly drop-off sites that are open to all county residents. So you don't necessarily have to live in the community where the recycling center is located. Recyclable materials not picked up at the curb, such as scrap metal, tires, may be brought to a municipal drop-off center or a monthly drop-off collection event that collects those specific items. All municipalities offer both a spring and or fall recycling collection day. Okay. Anoka County funds these programs through dedicated state funding. Our municipalities implement the programs that are best for their communities.
Sure, okay. I know I do, but doesn't everybody recycle nowadays?
Well, everybody does, but let's first talk about a few more of the programs that we have. So sure. We also operate a household hazardous waste facility. Through a vendor, Anoka County has a household hazardous waste facility located in Blaine. The facility provides safe disposal of household products that are corrosive, flammable, combustible, or poisonous. So if you see those keywords on a product, corrosive, flammable, combustible, or poisonous, they cannot go in the garbage can and they need to be disposed of free of charge at our household hazardous waste facility. Common items accepted include automotive products, home improvement products, and household products, as well as lawn and garden products. So if you're cleaning out your garage this fall, remember our household hazardous waste facility. These items do not belong in the trash and should be disposed of at our facility.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yep. In addition, we also operate through a vendor, Bunker Hills compost site in Coon Rapids, and then right here in Lino Lakes, we also operate the Rice Creek chain of lakes compost sites. Both sites offer low-cost options for residents to dispose of their yard and tree waste. So if folks are interested in learning more about all of these programs, they can visit our website at anokacounty.us/recycle. If you grab a pen or pencil and paper, I'll repeat the website along with our phone number at the end.
Sure, definitely. Can you please share with us the Zero Waste events? We were recently at Happy Days in Ramsey and noticed portable containers. Is this new?
Yes, it is a brand new program. Zero waste events have been very popular on the east and west coast here for a number of time, but now we're starting to see them pop up here more in the Midwest.
Okay.
They're events that are specifically planned to dramatically reduce the amount of waste generated and to increase the amount of waste that is collected for recycling, both traditional recycling as well as organics collection. Organics collection can include food waste, paper products, compostable foodware, and compostable bags. As for the portable recycling containers, those are provided by Anoka County. County staff has reached out to many of our community festivals, encouraging them to include recycling and organics at their events. The portable recycling and organics containers are available to check out from Anoka County to anyone who wants to recycle at their event. There is no charge to check out the containers. However, they are available on a first come, first serve basis. Okay. So if you're having a large event, it's better to let us know further in advance that you're interested in doing that. We do request that you check them out at least a week in advance. So if you give us at least a week's notice, that helps us prepare them for you.
Okay.
More details are available about the program along with our reservation form on our website. There's also a link to the free sign maker tool if you'd like to print signs for your event. So even if you're not checking out a container, we have these fabulous signs that are customizable, available on our website. So you can customize what types of waste you're anticipating to have at your events, and those are available. We also have them for organics as well if you're collecting organics. So that's also available on our website as well.
Great. Why is recycling so important? And on that note, if people don't, why should they?
Recycling saves natural resources. It takes less energy to make new products from recycled products. It reduces waste, it saves money. If you recycle, you can potentially downsize your current garbage service to save money as well.
Okay.
Recycling creates jobs and is great for our economy. All of these are great reasons why people should recycle.
What can people do to start if they haven't done this before?
Well, start with the basics.
Okay.
Bottles and cans, empty the containers, rinse them out, leave the caps on. I know a lot of people ask the question of, do I leave the caps on, take the caps off? So if you have a bottled water, put the cap back on, or if you have other containers, go ahead and just leave the cap back on.
Sure.
Newspaper, if you place it in a paper bag, do not do a plastic bag. Plastic bags are very bad for the machinery at the recycling facilities. If you have cardboard, flatten it. It doesn't take very much to break down the cardboard boxes. Be sure to, it gives you a lot more space in your recycling cart as well too. If you have a lot, go to one of our recycling drop-off centers located throughout the county. It's so easy to do. And back to your question earlier about doesn't everybody recycle? Well, everybody should. Recycling is so easy. All of the single-family homes in Anoka County offer curbside single sort, and single sort means that all of the curbside recyclables such as aluminum cans, cartons, glass, paper, plastics can be placed in your recycling cart. So there's no need to separate the materials anymore, making it very easy to recycle.
It amazes me when I see the blue one for the recycling and the black one for the garbage, and people are still just tossing it right into the black can. And just,
yep, it just
right
takes a few seconds to be able to differentiate and throw them in the correct container. And for those folks that live in an apartment, ask your property manager about recycling at your building.
Good point.
Anoka
really
County works with our building managers and building owners to implement recycling at their facilities. So
That's
if
a
you
really good point.
are currently a resident that lives in an apartment building, be sure to talk to your property owner or manager about that as well.
Which I do. Yep, definitely. Do you have any other thoughts or comments for us today that you'd like to share with us?
Well, just want to reiterate that recycling is very easy. You can learn so much more about the materials accepted, the sign maker tool, any of the programs that we talked about today is available on our website, which is again Anoka County, county.us/recycle, or you can call our office, and that telephone number is 763-323-5730. Again, 763-323-5730.
Thank you so much for your time today, Sandy. We really appreciate it.
Awesome, thank you.
Yes. Now this place is called Wargo Nature Center. What does Wargo mean? You might be asking yourself. I know I'm curious. We asked QCTV's very own Matt Overstreet to find out, and he put together the story for us.
Hi, I'm Matt Overstreet of the It's Your History program from right here on QCTV. And today we're going to be taking a brief look at the Wargo Nature Center's namesake, the Honorable Joseph E. Wargo. Joseph Wargo was born in Anoka County in 1916. Both he and his future wife Edith graduated the University of Minnesota Law School in 1938. Consequently, he founded his law firm that very year, a firm that would go on to become the largest in Anoka County, Barna, Guzzi & Steffen, Ltd., which is still in practice to this day. Joseph left private practice in 1968 to take a seat on the Anoka County bench and serve as judge. After 11 years of service in Anoka County, Judge Wargo retired in 1978. In 1987, Judge Joseph E. Wargo died. After Wargo's wife Edith's death in 2006 and subsequent donation of $300,000 from her estate, Anoka County opened the Wargo Nature Center in Lino Lakes, Minnesota, a site dedicated to preserving and teaching others about the natural world, a goal very much after the judge's heart. An avid bird watcher, Judge Wargo would take walks in nature as often as possible to study his favorite feathered friends. To this day, the Wargo Nature Center remains an amazing resource for birding and other natural pursuits as well. Thanks for checking out this brief history of the man for whom all of this is dedicated. For QCTV's Live and Local, I'm Matt Overstreet.
Awesome. So we have learned so much about Wargo Nature Center today. All sorts of great programs we've got going on. Parks in Anoka County, beekeeping, birds,
bird watching, kayaking.
Anything you want to know about nature. I hope you've learned it today here.
Definitely. I've learned a lot myself. It was exciting to be out here. It was a beautiful day out in the nature. I can't wait to take a nature hike with my dogs. Come out here with my dogs and go on one of the trails. Should be a blast.
So hopefully you've learned about this hidden gem, Wargo Nature Center. I had a great time. Thank you, Jason, for hosting with me today here on Live and Local on QCTV.